Good morning, everyone. This is Charalambos Pissouros, Senior Analyst at IronFX, bringing you the morning comment for the 11th of April. WTI rallies as US oil rigs continue to decrease. Oil opened higher on Monday after the number of active US oil rigs fell even further, the Baker Hughes survey showed on Friday. This suggests that the US producers continue to struggle despite the recent recovery in prices. Black gold prices remained supported the previous week amid a fall in inventory stockpiles and perhaps some speculation that the 17th of April oil producers meeting could provide a solution to an oversupplied market. Nevertheless, we remain skeptical towards the prospect of an actual output freeze, especially after Saudi Arabia announced that it will agree to a freeze only if Iran joins as well. Given that Iran has signaled several times that it has no intention to compromise until its production reaches pre-sanctions levels, we believe that there is little prospect in striking any deal, at least until Iran reaches those output levels. Anyhow, as long as other major producers appear willing to find a solution, oil prices could remain supported in the near term, as hopes for a deal have not diminished yet. As for today, during the European Day, the foreign ministers from the G7 economies will conclude their two-day meeting in Hiroshima, Japan. In the UK, Chancellor George Osborne will present an analysis from the Treasury on the costs and benefits of the UK referendum. We expect that such a report may place particular emphasis on the risks of a potential exit. If the report highlights any risks that investors have not fully priced in yet, the British currency may come under renewed selling interest. From Norway, we get the CPI data for March. The headline figure is expected to have accelerated, while the core rate is forecast to decline somewhat. Nevertheless, both rates are expected to remain above the Norges Bank target of 3%, something that may keep the reaction in NOK limited at the release. As for the rest of the week, on Tuesday we get the UK CPI data for March, and expectations are for both the headline and core figures to have accelerated. Given that the latest upturn in the CPI was considered temporary due to energy-related effects, an acceleration in the March prints could signify that the underlying trend of inflation has indeed started moving in the desirable direction. On Wednesday, the Bank of Canada will gather to decide on monetary policy. The bank will also release its updated projections for the Canadian economy. Officials are expected to remain on hold at this meeting and revise their economic forecasts upward, mainly as a result of the extraordinary fiscal stimulus measures introduced in the government's first federal budget last month. In the US, retail sales for March are expected to have risen, a turnaround from the previous month. On Thursday, the main event will be the Bank of England policy meeting, where officials are expected to unanimously stand pat amid an unclear political environment. Most of the data and surveys for the first quarter so far support that the British economic activity may be losing momentum, weighed on by concerns about global demand and the Brexit atmosphere. Against this backdrop, we will look through the minutes to see whether officials have mentioned the possibility of a rate cut should the outlook deteriorate further, a prospect that was brought to light by Governor Carney in his testimony to Parliament in February. In the US, the CPI data for March are coming out, and expectations are for the headline CPI to have accelerated, while the core rate is forecast to have remained unchanged. Finally, on Friday, China's GDP growth for the first quarter is expected to have slowed. We also get the Chinese industrial production, fixed asset investment, and retail sales all for March. These indicators are expected to have accelerated from previously, and combined with the optimistic PMI surveys for the month, could add to evidence that the economic activity has begun to stabilize in China, at least in March. For more information, including technical analysis, please read the full comment on IronFX.com or download our app and get all the information you need to trade. Also, you can follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or circle us on Google Plus to get more trading ideas. This is Charalambos Pissouros, Senior Analyst at IronFX, wishing you solid trading.